Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. Here we are with UMi. I'm Jon Dudgeon, I'm CEO of Blu Sky, and I'm joined by my colleague Josh, who's our head of growth and also a client relationship director at Blu Sky. We're going to keep this webinar reasonably practical, conversational as well. And hopefully, in about 20 minutes' time, you'll know exactly what a financial health check's all about, why it matters to do this in the middle of your financial year, and the benefits you can expect from it as well. We promise not to drown you in jargon. This is about giving confidence in your numbers, and trust me, it makes first-hand sense to be doing this type of thing once a year. So, Josh, thanks for joining me. Are you ready to dive in?
Let's get rolling.
Excellent. All right. So we'll jump on to a first slide, which is all about why a health check mid-year matters. So a lot of people think and work with their accountant on a sort of annual basis to look at annual accounts that are usually 9 months out of date and given a nice kind of history lesson of what went before. But we know, Josh told me that there's a
Mm,
better way to do things. So can you just tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so this is the thing with year-end accounts. They are historic in a sense, they are backward looking. By the time you see them, it is too late to change course. So, let's take a typical example. If you've got December year end for your company accounts, when's half year is obviously going to be just end of June, so 6 months in. Yeah, then you're going to be discussing, right, what is the benefit of us kind of mid-year? We've had halfway through. What are the issues to fix? Are there any opportunities for us to actually do better? Has the market changed and we need to adapt? It's almost like a half-time team talk in football. You don't wait until full time to make any changes if you can improve. And that's what the aim really of a health check mid-year is.
Yeah, it's exactly that, isn't it? It's taking a breath, reflecting on where the last 6 months have brought you, and looking forward to, I guess, the second half and how you can make that a success. Or is there any sort of pitfalls ahead of you that might derail the year? So let's break it down. Can you talk a little bit around what the financial health check's all about and what you actually look for, I suppose, with a client as well?
So there's a few main areas that we always consider. The key that we often find is cash flow. It's imperative to the well-being of any business, and it's key to ensure we understand where we're trying to get at, where it's been previously, but also where we're trying to get to in the next 6 months at our mid-year check-in. Is it healthy? Are you papering over the cracks? Even if it's healthy today, it's key to consider, have you got some large payments or large commitments that are coming that could quickly shift the view of that? That may alter your opinion and your decision making as well. Another key component as well that'll almost go hand in hand is profitability. You may have in the first part of the year a pricing strategy, a sales strategy, a marketing strategy that you'd probably aim to help deliver in terms of income or revenue. But then a key part is how is that affecting your actual profitability, your margin, especially with inflation the way it is. Do you have a bit of cost creep in that you need to keep your eye on as well? That will come forward when you reflect and review and look forward. Key component as well is if you have profitability, if the cash flow is good, you're probably going to have some tax and compliance matters to be aware of. Your accounts are done annually. You pay the tax on it 9 months after if you want to, but you shouldn't find out how much it's going to be 8 months after. You kind of need to be tracking it as you're going along so there aren't any nasty surprises. Some businesses, their corp tax bill, if they're profitable, is quite a big payout for them, could even be their biggest payout if you talk about individual. So some clients of ours actually build it up through the period, and it's hard to track that without having a reliable estimate to hand to keep you on track. Last but not least is the forecasting piece. So John, a CEO of Blu Sky, and my experience working with clients is there's a typical trend. The clients that have a forecast that report against it, track against it, and see where they're trying to get to often typically lead to better financial performance as well. And that's the key point of a health check. Some things may happen where you've overperformed your forecast and budget, potentially even underperformed. The key thing is in either situation to adjust, reflect, and make sure what you're reporting on after the mid-year is relevant to your business as well. It's a simple MOT, but not just to be drowning in the figures either.
Yeah, I think we've all sort of sat through webinars that are death by PowerPoint, and I think your MOT shouldn't be death by spreadsheet. It's not about pages of spreadsheet. It's about looking at what's important to the business, cash and bank. Is there profit on the horizon? Do you know your tax position? I think if you can do that as a founder, director, or business owner, then you can breathe a little bit. I remember one client saying, I feel like I'm steering the car now, not hanging off the roof rack, which sticks in my mind from years ago, actually, and still hangs true today. Cool. Well, next slide's all about sort of the benefits. So that's what's in the MOT. But as we know, business owners are busy, so there needs to be some benefit from these sessions. What are you told by your clients? What do they actually get from putting this time and effort into a mid-year review?
I think the key thing with business owners is they normally have very good experience in the field they've got, good decision making, but also quite intuitive sometimes in their decision making as well. I think the key thing on the reflection period is, and the check in really, is to actually update and give a reflection and information of what's actually happened so you can make better decisions in the future. Sometimes business owners can get quite emotionally invested. So laying out the facts and figures and where we're trying to get to and the story to get there actually helps take a lot of the emotion out of it and gives business owners a lot of clarity. You know where you stand, you know where you need to get to, and you know what needs to happen to get to that point you want to and for your business as well. Obviously, it goes without saying, sometimes business owners can get busy and sometimes can fly blind as well. The key point of it is then it actually reduces the stress and hopefully actually makes you a more strong and effective leader. In doing so, better decision making come through. You'll be able to save money because there'll be tax savings you could make in terms of tax planning with your finance team or accountant, or even cost efficiencies you could make in terms of we had this strategy for Q1 and Q2. Some things worked, some things didn't. Let's tweak it and let's make sure we're more efficient heading into Q3 and Q4. It kind of sets you then up for what we talked about before, which is better cash flow, better profitability, helps you set up for growth. John will
Definitely.
probably, yeah, John will probably say this as well. Real outcome is confidence for the business owner.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about confidence, isn't it? And one of the things we talk about is, economic confidence or big picture confidence that's affecting businesses. Well, actually, this is about affecting the things that you've got control of, which will give you confidence. So you stop firefighting, you start planning, and you can start to sleep at night again, I think, because you can see what's kind of coming over the hill and round the corner. And for me, that's priceless when you're running a business, giving you that confidence and time back as well. So let's make it real. Josh, have you got an example of where this is really sort of played out maybe for a client?
So recently, we had a digital agency come through to us. At the time, when you looked at the figures, they were doing fine. Not amazing, but not poor cash flow either. We had a mid-year check with them, and what it actually showed was a very incremental, month by month, slow worsening, really, in the actual profitability. While turnover was thereabouts where they wanted to be in the actual, and they only had a budget for really a turnover on a basis, not even a full P&L. What we then did was they kind of asked us, like, we know what's going on, we're focused on billing, but it's just not coming through to our cash and realistically where we want the business to go so we can make an extra hire and grow further. What is kind of going on here? What that then led to was us sitting down and doing a repricing exercise with them. We took their internal data in terms of timesheets, where people were going, how time was being allocated to each job, and then it kind of painted its own picture that was actually quite complex in terms of some jobs were being really well priced, some jobs were doing okay but break even for what they were want to get, and actually they were spending a lot of time on loss-making clients that were, yeah, improving their top line in terms of revenue and billings, but were actually the reason why the actual bottom line and profitability was slowly decreasing across. To make it further, some things like that aren't just a simple case of actually, oh, we'll put the fear on this client. It actually, that's only the first part of the story. The next part is being more proactive. looking at, right, who is managing each individual job? Who are the people we've got? Have we got the right people doing the right jobs and helping the business grow in the right areas? And that's when you start being proactive rather than reactive in terms of planning to set yourself up to succeed.
Yeah, and that's the difference, isn't it? If we're doing this in the middle of the year, or on some occasions even more frequently, you're understanding something that previously you would have just heard at the earliest at the year end, possibly even after that. You know, it could be months after the year end, and it's just too late, isn't it? It's sort of that classic fix the leaking tap before the sink overflows, I think is kind of what we're talking about. So we're full of analogies today. It's great. So yeah, next slide's all about sort of those pitfalls to avoid. So yeah, on the flip side, what happens in your opinion when businesses don't give these type of mid-year health checks the time and effort they deserve?
I think one of the big things is always the surprises that can occur. This happens, to be honest with you, more than often on growing and scaling businesses. There will be new issues that will come that weren't an issue in maybe year one, year two, year three, but are becoming more prevalent now. New taxes that might occur as well that might be relevant for your business as well, especially as your payroll grows. I think it's unexpected tax bills is what we often see, and cash gaps as companies grow to fill in the growth plans when they don't quite marry up. Waiting until year end, as noticed as well. If you wait 12 months, then you try to set up a plan, it almost can be like you're 18 months behind where you could really be. The key thing though is cash. Any missed opportunities were there, you could often come to the forefront really if you're ignoring your cash. If you just focus on billings or even just focus on profitability, but not keep an eye on cash and where you're going to end up to next year or so, it will affect your forecasting and your ability to hit year two or year three of your forecasted plan as well. I think one common thing that will often happen is when the cash gets a bit tighter, if kind of pitfalls to avoid, is it hurts things like, can you make an extra hire? Can you invest further in your infrastructure to grow? Could you open up another site or rejig your existing site as you're growing? These are the type of key factors that when you're trying to set yourself up for the next 6 months or even the next few years, that if you ignore the cash will kind of hurt your ability to grow and maneuver kind of effectively as possible. You can do it, but I think you'd make yourself, I don't know what we talked about in previous slides, a lot more stressful on yourself to do it. Key thing with our clients is always reviewing the costs. You don't have to be a chartered accountant to have a successful business, but I think knowing what you know and knowing the key costs for your business are important to make sure you still know what you need to know to make your decisions as well.
Yeah, I think we've got loads of case studies where clients have realized they were making decisions in, I don't know, September based on a set of accounts that were put together in the previous March. And that's guesswork, isn't it? You're just really working blind. And the danger is you don't know what's kind of coming your way and you realize too late. And that's what these health checks are all about, is helping you anticipate and plan, and reviewing your costs. They're things that are under your control in terms of what you're spending and what you're spending your money on. So you can have an impact on those pretty quickly, and that'll drive different behaviors and different outcomes during the later part of the year as well. Um, yeah, brilliant, Josh. I think let's wrap up now. A mid-year financial health check, to summarize, it's going to give you clarity, confidence, and control. In my opinion, it's a small effort, but it can make a massive difference to how the rest of the financial year will go for your business. At Blue Sky, we've seen it across all sorts of businesses. From startups just getting going, to many of the scale-ups that we work with, who are looking to sort of raise investment or debt funding or whatever it is. And the earlier you take stock, the better decisions can be made quickly. These type of things can drive a conversation, or equally, at least you'll have the information there, should you need it going forward as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, it's really about being proactive, not reactive, trying to get ahead of the game and make sure your second half of the year will look very different and hopefully improve performance as well for yourself is the key thing.
Cheers, Josh. It's a perfect note to end on. Thank you to everyone who's joined us today and who's listening to this subsequently. Hopefully, you've seen and now understand the benefits of a financial health check. It's not just for your accountant to do. It's about giving you as a business owner, founder, director confidence to help you grow your business and move forward and sleep at night. So thank you, everyone. You can contact us at the email addresses on screen now or through our website as well.
Thank you.